Get out the car, mama. Let me get my mom out the car. Come here. Come this way.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a story that is all too common in this country involving Democrats suffering from the policies that they have implemented. Because, you know, after George Floyd, this country fell off a cliff when it came to social justice and progressive criminal justice reform, which I've told you guys time and time again, is the biggest domestic terror threat to this country. It's not white supremacy. It ain't conservatives. It's not Trump supporters. It's not Trump. No, it's actually woke, Soros-funded DAs who are pushing progressive criminal justice reform. This is the biggest domestic terror threat to this country. I am not lying about that, right? If you guys see the crime crisis that has happened in these liberal cities, how they've fallen apart. Once great cities like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, LA, they become hellholes, right? Shitholes, really, for criminals that have taken over these cities. And also illegal immigrants as well, too, by the way. We can't forget that. But anyways, we got to talk about a story, again, of how Democrats are suffering from the consequences of their own policies. As in 2023 and 2022 as well, too, ever since, again, this criminal justice reform, defund the police movement happened, we've seen Democrats get robbed and beaten in response, right? In these liberal cities, okay? Democrats are getting robbed and beat all over the place, okay? That's what's happening. This time, it really hit close to home for this George Soros-backed Louisiana district attorney by the name of Jason Williams, who is the DA for Orleans Parish. Now, this guy was elected in 2020 after running on a platform of social justice and bail reform. Now, 3 or so years later, this guy got carjacked at gunpoint with his mother in the vehicle by a young black scholar who probably just wanted something to eat, right? According to the woke revolutionaries. So I want to talk about it. But before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, BioTrust. Did you know that you can begin to lose muscle as early as the age of 30? Now, me personally, I'm coming up on my 30s, not quite there yet, but I'm coming up on it. So I am very aware of this reality. Then at 40, research shockingly suggests that you can begin to lose up to 10% of your muscle mass every decade. And if nothing is done to prevent this muscle loss, it can lead to loss of strength, weight gain, decreased energy, and much more. The good news is that no matter what age you're at, you can begin to take steps to stop this and even to put it in reverse. That's why hundreds of thousands are taking action today to reverse their muscle loss with this amazing new product by BioTrust, Ageless Muscle. It combines 4 science-backed ingredients to combat age-related muscle and strength loss. Together, this premium blend of my HMB, betaine, creatine, and vitamin D3 offer powerful support to build and preserve muscle mass, promote muscular endurance, improve athletic performance, promote muscle hydration, help reduce soreness, and promote post-exercise recovery. Most importantly, you'll save 41% for this month only. Plus, for a limited time, you'll receive free gifts, including free shipping, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, and a free new ebook titled 9 Most Important Ingredients to Hold On To as You Continue to Age. All at no extra cost to you. Go to musclewithpatriot.com. That's musclewithpatriot.com. Or click the link below in the description to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime deal before it sells out.
Get out the car, mama. Let me get my mom out the car. Come here. Come this way.
Records show one person is booked in connection to the armed carjacking of Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams and his mother.
18-year-old Raymond Rochon faces multiple counts. However, NOPD did not say if he will be booked with carjacking or armed robbery. Chris Welty reports.
According to NOPD records, 18-year-old Raymond Rochon is just one of at least 3 suspects accused of carjacking Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams and his mother Monday night.
This is District Attorney Jason Williams, and I was just carjacked at the corner of Race and Magazine Street.
Records obtained by Fox 8 say the suspects pulled next to the DA's SUV in a stolen truck. Williams says that's when 2 armed masked suspects demanded his vehicle and mother's belongings.
Were any weapons involved?
Yes, 2 guns, 3 to 4 assailants.
Williams pleaded with the suspects to allow him to get his mother out. Once he did, the blue truck took off, but the suspect in his SUV was briefly stuck.
And where are the suspects now?
We got out of the car. They're trying to take my car, but they're not going to be able to get very far because they don't have a key. So the car is there. So if someone gets there now, they can get one of the assailants who was left in my car, and the other 2 drove away.
NOPD was able to quickly recover DA Jason Williams' black Lincoln Navigator because the carjackers did not get the key fob. The vehicle was processed for evidence, and it's now back in his possession. 30 minutes after Williams' SUV was stolen, a woman was carjacked nearby. NOPD records showed detectives obtained license plate readers of both vehicles and discovered the blue truck was also involved. Tuesday morning, detectives found the truck connected to the 2 carjackings. For more than 8 hours, they surveilled the truck and did see 3 men wearing all black. Detectives followed the vehicle to another location in New Orleans East. According to NOPD records, when the detective approached, Rochon removed a gun from his waistband, placed it on the ground, and surrendered. As the officer read Rochon his Miranda rights, he said, "I know why y'all are here." He went on to say, quote, "Y'all's people had been got."
I just think it's important to reiterate that my mother and I are just a very small fraction of the number of people who've been affected by violence in this city. And we just have to collectively work on crime prevention efforts, doing what we can to help policing efforts, and do what we can to help our prosecution efforts.
This afternoon, Rochon made his first appearance in court. When Rochon was arrested, records show that he was also wanted on prior charges. His bond for his alleged involvement in the armed carjacking case is set at $120,000. His defense attorney believes more charges will be added. Fox 8 did ask NOPD during an unrelated news conference this afternoon about this case, but officers did not offer any details on Rochon or the other individuals involved. Liz?
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, now here's the thing. They're throwing the book at this individual who carjacked this DA and his mother. However, I got a feeling that if this guy did not carjack the DA and his mother, they would not have thrown the book at him, because this guy has a history, a long history of basically letting criminals go free. In fact, ever since 2020, when this guy was elected, there's been a significant number of violent criminals that have been released back onto the streets, so much that they did an investigation to it, and the results are shocking, but not really surprising, because this is par for the course when it comes to woke DAs. Take a look.
Accused of crimes ranging from carjackings to domestic abuse to murder in New Orleans were simply let out of jail or to their bond obligations. We found hundreds of accused criminals essentially timed out of jail or those obligations because they hadn't yet been charged by the district attorney. Here's our new investigation, Back on the Streets.
The NOPD searches for a man accused of beating someone with a metal pipe in an armed robbery.
The NOPD needed your help finding this man who demanded money from a victim in the middle of the day in the CBD.
They say Solomon demanded money and then struck the victim several times before taking the money and running away.
Records show just a few days before the NOPD asked for help last month, the judicial system had Jeffrey Solomon in custody for another offense. Solomon was locked up for attempted armed robbery, aggravated second-degree battery, and criminal damage to property. But he was released from jail, and days later, police say he committed another crime.
I don't understand why he was released.
The reason why, the law forced a magistrate to release Solomon. The legal community calls it a 701 release. The state criminal code gives defendants the right to a speedy trial. It sets a time limit on the amount of time the district attorney has to file charges. In most felony cases, if the DA fails to bring charges, that defendant is released from jail after 60 days. Or if the defendant is out on bond, he or she is released from those bond obligations after 150 days. Court records show Solomon made his first court appearance on November 19th. So without any charges filed, 2 months later, on January 19th, he was released from jail. And this is not an isolated incident. We requested court records to track the number of 701 releases since 2017, the number of times a defendant was released from jail or bond obligations, with the district attorney failing to bring charges. Prior to Williams taking over as DA, the office had between 60 and 133 701 releases a year until 2021, when Jason Williams took over and the 701 releases shot up to 885.
That just tells you that something is drastically different. And I mean, it's not a factor of 5 or 6. You're talking 700 more that are happening in that year alone.
According to these numbers, the city is on pace to have nearly 1,400 701 releases this year.
This is going to upset some New Orleanians.
It should. It should. When you see 700 different, that is a huge number. And you can't just explain it away by saying COVID's a problem, the courts are a problem, ability to function with people is a problem. When you have repeat offenders in particular, and significant ones, people are going to be upset about it.
Yeah, so you've seen that, you heard that. Again, pretty crazy report there about how you have these violent criminals who have a long rap sheet of committing violent crimes just being let out back on the streets in unprecedented numbers ever since this guy was elected. Now, again, fast forward to 2023, this guy, again, he's suffering from the consequences of his own policies. And again, this guy was running on a social justice platform, and he was backed by billionaire Democrat donor George Soros. Let's read here. When Williams was elected in 2022, he ran on a platform of social justice reform with intentions of finding alternatives to incarceration for some criminals, while also changing what he considered an ineffective and unfair money bail system. One of his campaign backers, a billionaire Democratic donor, George Soros, reportedly donated $220,000 to the Louisiana Justice and Public Safety PAC that year, which helped fund ad campaigns against Williams' opponents, according to the Capital Research Center. Quote, being more selective about prosecutions will allow us to focus on the crimes that matter most to all of us, Williams said after being sworn in. We've got to go beyond punishment and invest in our communities. Yeah, I wonder how that's working out. According to an analysis from the Metropolitan Crime Commission in 2022, Williams' tactics have resulted in a, quote, drastic decline in accountability for violent felony offenders. Williams' office dismissed 937 of the city's 1,411 violent felony cases during his first months in office, the analysis reported. Yeah, so again, this guy is just letting violent criminals go free, roam free on the streets, right? And now it has hit him and his mother because he got carjacked due to his own policies. Again, the guy that carjacked him had a history. Okay, he probably should not have been out on the streets. But again, he probably was because of this DA being soft on crime. I'm not sure how much do Democrats and their constituents, their people too, have to suffer from the consequences of their policies for them to realize that Democrat policies are a danger to this country. Okay, that is the real domestic terror threat to this country, is Democrat policies. I don't know how many of these stories I have to do, right, before people understand that the best way to red pill these people is to give them what they want, because this is what they voted for, and this is what you get. You get chaos and destruction. So again, you know, it's hard to feel bad for the guy when he essentially has been the cause of terror in these communities, probably mostly black communities, with his soft on crime policies that has basically resulted in him and his mother getting carjacked, and also harms done to other people as well too. You hate to see it, but you kind of love to see it as well too. Okay, if this is the best way for them to learn. So again, all of a sudden this guy is going to be tough on crime now because he realizes that, oh wait, I'm putting myself in danger from letting thugs and criminals out on the street. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.